Something just hit Jupiter. The news came in actually earlier yesterday, but it's just making it out into the world now. An astronomer saw something going on the face of Jupiter, and this was on the 13th of September. Also on the 13th of September, there was a coronal mass ejection where a magnetic plume flies off the face of the sun, and this can play into geomagnetic storms. Really, that's the significance of it from our point of view and what we're looking at. So Jupiter, interesting, it is the ruling planet of Sagittarius, and I am a Sagittarius, and I had a really weird day yesterday, so maybe this explains some of it. Jupiter is the king of the gods in astrology, so really powerful, and it tends to be associated with good luck and bounty, and I sort of had unbounty and not such good luck yesterday, and that's why I think this actually adds up to something in astrology, even though it's the astronomers who are really seriously talking about it at the moment. Just looking at the facts on my computer, a German astrologer called Harold Pulaski was watching a solar eclipse in the atmosphere of Jupiter when something happened, and he said a flash of bright light surprised him. He says it could only be an impact, and as he looked through his video frames, he quickly ruled out things like airplanes, things like satellites that are usually flying around in the night sky. And it is getting difficult to rule out satellites, but he was able to do that. And nothing else was really crossing Jupiter's field at the time that this happened, so he's sure it's the real deal. And there was a fireball that was fixed in Jupiter's atmosphere. It first appeared on September 13th, and it was visible for 2 seconds, so lucky he was watching at the time. And astronomers are actually looking out for this again. I'm doing this video on September the 14th. This news has just come to me, and that's why I'm doing it now. So astronomers are, seriously checking out the night sky at the moment to see what's going to happen with this. It's not the first time that astronomers have seen things hitting Jupiter. It's out there, and stuff does hit it from time to time. The most famous one being Comet Shoemaker-Levy, SL9, and that struck Jupiter in 1994, so we are going back a fair while in time. So this is a fairly unique event. It is by no means unique, but it's fairly unique in terms of the way we see the world. The most likely explanation would seem to be a small asteroid or a comet striking the giant planet, and this would be an asteroid in the 100-meter size range. That's what would do this. So with that striking Jupiter, it certainly throws Sagittarians all over the place, I should think. Do leave me a comment if you're a Sagittarian. Well, leave me a comment anyway. It's always good to read them. But that has really thrown a spanner in the works of where astrology has been going this week. It's a week of, well, really Thursday is going to be the only really productive day this week, as I said in the video I did looking at the week ahead on the weekend. But Wednesday is going to be interesting, and it remains to be seen what actually comes into being on Thursday and how this actually plays out in our lives. Jupiter, as I said, the ruling planet of Sagittarius, but also a planet associated with the angel Jophiel. And if you believe in those things, that has to do with kind of spontaneity and like happy, colourful things going on in life. So we could see some adjustments there. We really could. The more negative side of Jupiter is, things like blind optimism, excess, overindulgence, that kind of thing. So it could be quite positive if that is going to be curbed as well. Also irresponsibility, and that does come from blind optimism and things like that as well. So let's look out. There's going to be some shakes, basically. This is shaking up what's going on in astrology. Astrology, you see, it does actually go hand in hand with scientific astronomy. For example, if say Mercury is retrograde, any scientific astronomer will tell you that Mercury is actually moving backwards in its transit through the universe at that time. It's just really that astrology is a sort of, it's like poetry superimposed onto the science of astronomy. And it's also a very statistically strong thing. Astrology, as we know it in modern terms, has been observed since ancient Babylon, and it's all based on statistics. So stuff really does happen. It's just that science can't explain it, so science tends to write it off. But, you know, Jupiter, a very, very powerful influence in astrology. One of the not the furthest out planets, but it's quite a long way out. You know, it's not our nearest heavenly body by a long way. But this and the coronal mass ejection, both happening on the same day, have really stirred things up. So there we are, guys. Just a quick one. I didn't want to miss this. Really interesting stuff. If you want to know more about that, check out a website called spaceweather.com. All the information is there, and it's really worth keeping an eye on. So with that, friends, thanks very much for watching. I'll be back closer to the weekend with a look at the weekend astrology in... I was going to say in a more down-to-earth way, but it's hardly down-to-earth, this, is it? It's really kind of out there. But that is just a really sudden new influence hitting us in astrology right at the moment. So thanks for watching. Have fun. See you soon. Bye-bye.